Here is a complete detail explained in the all of Mad Max movies, including the stories, summaries, behind the scene facts, production, background, box office detail, and the behind the scene fact. The Mad Max film series is one of the most famous and unique action film franchise in the world. Known for the post-apocalypse desert setting, high-speed car chasing, and the explosive stunt, it is the inspire many modern action film and the video games. In the series beginning in the later 1970 and was created by the George Miller as Australian film director and who working with the every small budget in the beginning. Over the year, Mad Max became the legendary name in the film world. The Mad Max franchise has the five main films. The Mad Max 1979, the Mad Max 2 1981, as known as the Road Warrior. Mad Max Behind the Thunderdome in the 1985. Mad Max Fury Road is the 2015, and Furcia is the Mad Max Saga in 2024. Mad Max 1979. Director George Miller. Main actor is the Mel Gibson and the Max Rockery. Releasing year is the 1979. Genre is the action, science fiction, post-apocalypse. Budget around the 315 million Australian dollar. Box office around the 100 million US dollar worldwide. The first film takes place in the near future. There is a society and the stunning to the collapse. Law and order is weak, and the motorcycle gang roam in the highway. Max is the police officer who the work to keep the road safe. One of the dangerous gang called the Toe Cutter Gang is the kill is the Max's best friend. They also attack the Max's wife and child. They the change in the Max completely. He became the cold and angry man. He the take revenge on the gang day one by one. Using the police car, the famous inspector. By the end of the film, and the Max lost the most everything and the begin in the well down in the dark road, in the loneliness and the vagueness. Behind the scene fact: the film was made with a very small budget, and the many of the stunt were real. Mel Gibson was the not famous actor that time. That film made him a star. The car using by the Max and the black V8 interception became the one of the most iconic vehicle in the movie history. The movie was banned for some countries became the violent scenes. The box office and impact. The film made over the 100 million US dollar worldwide, became one of the most profitable movie ever made in the teeny budget. That became the cult classic and the created in a new kind of the action film style, the gritty, fast and the raw. Mad Max 2 The Road Warrior 1981. Director George Miller, main actor Mel Gibson, releasing year is the 1981. Budget is the 4.5 million US dollar and the box office is the 36 million worldwide. This movie has set a few years after this first film, and the world has been most fully collapsed due to the war and the fuel shortage. People have to fight over the gasoline, which is the more valuable than gold. Max is the now the loner vendor in the Wasteland in the inspector. He is the find a small group of the survival living in the refinery. They have the fuel, but they are under attack from the violent gang led by the masked man named the Lord Humangus. Max is the first only one to the fuel to the himself, but he slowly became a hero again. In the end, in the help in the survival escape from the gang by the loaded danger tanker in the chase. Behind the scene of the fact, the film was the shot mostly in the Australian desert, and the stunt were the bigger, faster than the most dangerous than the first movie. Lord Humangus became the legendary villain in the pop culture. Many modern post-apocalypse films in the game and inspired by this movie. Box office and impact. This film was a huge success and of it in the considered one of the best action film we made. It is the turn the Max into the international action hero and made the George Miller famous around the world. Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome in the 1985. Basic information. Director is the George Miller and the George Golivius. Male actor is the Mel Gibson is the Tina Turner. Releasing date 1985. Budget is the 10 million US dollar and box office is the 36 million worldwide. The story summary. The story begins in the Mac traveling together in the Wasteland. He is the reach in the place the called the Bread Town. Which is run by the powerful woman named the Anti-Entity. She is the rule in the city and the help to the Master Blaster to the character who the control the city as energy. Max and the forced to the fight in the arena called the Thunderdome. It is a large metal cage in the two men enter and one man leave. Max win but the refuse kill to his opponent. So he is sent into the desert to die. He then find a group to the children live into the hidden oasis. They believe in the Max is the hero who take them in the promised the land. Max decide to the hope and the escape from the Bread Town. The one and Max sacrifice with the change in the escape from the save the children. Behind the scene and fact. Tina Turner is not only act as the anti-entity but is also sung in the famous song We Do Not Need Another Hero Thunderdome. The Thunderdome the fighting scene became the legendary and has been the copy in the many other films. The film was the more polished and has in the bigger budget than the previous one. It is show more hope and humanity than in the earlier dark films. Box office and impact. The film made good money has been the show that the Mad Max world could grow. It was not the critically precise as a Mad Max 2, but it was still loved by fans. It is because a part of the pop culture in the 1980s. Basic information. Director George Miller and the main actor is the Tom Hardy as a Max, the Charlize Theron as a Horacia. Releasing date 1915. The releasing date 2015. Budget around the 150 million US dollar, and the box office is the 318 million worldwide. A story summary. This movie has been set long after the collapse of the civilization. Max is captured by the war boy as the army set to survive in the brutal leader named the important. Joy. Joy in the controls is the phoneless call in the category where he is the captain of water in from the people. Horatia, one of the best warrior, betrayal Joy and the escape from the five wives. Woman has been used to the breeding. Max forced to join her to the on the danger journey across the desert. In the whole movie, the giant case scene, filling in the car explosion, and the amazing action. In the end, Max and Felicia return to the catapult, kill immunity and Joy, and given the water back into the people. Felicia became a hero, and Max disappeared again into the wasteland. Behind the scene and fact. In the film, take over the 100 years to back. The film took over the 10 year to back, 10 year to make. Most of the action scene in the real stunt, not the computer graphic. The war ring for the truck is one of the biggest custom vehicle ever built in for his film. The film was the precise the strong female lead to the powerful visual. This movie won the 6 Academy Award including the Best Editing, the Best Costume Design and the Best Production Design. Box office and impact. The film made in the US dollar 38 million worldwide and became a modern action classic. The many critics calls the one of the great action film over the made is the revenge to the franchise or the new generation and the including the Faurecia has a strong and people character. Faurecia is the made Max Saga 2024. Director is a George Miller. Main actor is the Anya trailer Joy as a Faurecia, Chris Hemsworth as a Damon, releasing year the 2024. Budget around the 168 million US dollar and the official box office is the 175 million is the yearly estimate. The story and summary. The film was the apparel of the Fury Road is the tell a story the Faurecia and a young girl. She takes from her home and is a green place for the many mothers. By the worried named the Dement, he is the rise into the violent world of the gang and the desert war. Horacia grown the strong and clever. She is the plan her the escape and became the powerful warrior. During the time dominate the fight the imminent joy for the control of the wasteland. Horacia became in the inverted for his where shaping the precise the became the furry road. The movie shows the how the Horacia lost the everything and the shade that became so demand to the fight the freedom. Behind the scene fact. The movie foresaw the Faurecia character and the world building. Many of the some stunt team in the ferry road the returned. Chris Hemsworth playing as a villain, something different from his the visual heroic role. The the production the build huge set and the real vehicle again continue this series tradition in the potential effect. Box office and impact. The film earned around the 175 million dollar as the box office and the received the strong critical praise from the acting. And the acting scene in the storytelling is the added the more depth in the Mad Max universe. Mad Max universe theme and styles. The Mad Max film is the has some common ideas to the make them unique. Post-apocalypse world. All film is the set of the world after the society has collapsed. Resources like fuel, water, and food are rare. Wasteland setting. The desert, like the character in the story, is the harsh, deadly, and the beautiful. Vehicle and action. The series is famous for its car, bike, and truck chase. The most stunt has done with the real vehicle, not CGI. The lone hero. Max is the always lone who do not want to be the hero but end up the helping other. Moral conflict. Even the broken world, people can choose to be the good or the evil. The most famous vehicle in the Mad Max. The one of the most important part of the Mad Max in this vehicle. Some of the most famous are the interception. The Max is the black V8 muscle car heavily modified. The Warring. The Forcia is the massive truck in the furry road. Dove Wagon is the crazy vehicle with the spikes, the guitarist who is playing during the battle. The tanker truck use the Mad Max 2 to the key element to the chase scene. Motorcycle and the buggies. Use the gang all over the wasteland. Stunt and the practical effect. This film is the famous from doing the real stunt in the most action movies, explosion and the crush of the made in with the computer. But in the Mad Max, most explosions are real. This is the make the action look the more intense and the believe. Many stuntmen risk the life, the performance, the danger jump, and the crash. In the Furry Road made more than 150 vehicle were the custom built. In the Dove Wagon they actually played the music during the film. It is the realistic style of the inspire on the many modern filmmakers. The man behind Mad Max is the George Miller. It was the director before being the filmmaker. He has seen the many car accident victim in this medical work, which the inspire with to the make the film about the road violence. He is the made the first movie with the every little money, but is the big vision. He always want to be a action film and the emotion and the meaning, not just noise. Over the 40 years, he is the credit one of the greatest action franchises all the time. He is directed the film like The Babe, Pig in the City, and The Happy Feet, showing for the wide range of talent. Award and the critical inception. The Mad Max series is receiving the worldwide prize. Mad Max in the 1979 became the cult classic. Mad Max 2 is the conceived the landmark in the action filmmaking. The Fury Road won the 6th Oscar and the Academy Award in 2016. The Faurecia 2024 received the prize of the acting and the storytelling. Critics admire the film of the unique style, strong character, escapely the Faurecia, real stunt and the practical effect, minimal up to the powerful storytelling. Culture impact and the legacy. The influence the of the Mad Max goes to the beyond the influence of the Mad Max was the behind the movie themselves, influence the movie and game. Film like the book of the Ellie and the Waterworld and the Road were the inspired by the Mad Max. Games like the Borderland and the Fallout using the similar Wasteland ethnics. Fashion and music. Punk and the most post-apocalyptic fashion trend often take ideas from the Mad Max film. Leather, spike, gas mask and the metal accessories. Movies, video and the concert has been used the Mad Max style in the costume as a set. Mad Max 2 The Road Warrior is the second film in the Mad Max series. It is came after the Mad Max 1979 and they became the much more popular internationally. The movie takes place in the post-apocalyptic world. That means society has the collapse after the war and the energy crisis. Fuel, gasoline, as it became the very rare. People fight and the kill in survival. Law and order are the gone. The world is the desert wasteland. In the world, the mad rocketry is the famous police officer is the now is the living alone. He is the lost his family and the trust in the people. He just want to the survive on his own, but the density bring him into the big fight between the ghosts and devil. People trying to the control his the last few supplies. Main character, the Max. uh, Actor Mel Gibson is the lone road warrior in the silent to the lost everything. The Gyro Captain is the Bruce Payne, is the funny and clever pilot who became the Max friend. Humongous is the Kill Nielsen in the terrifying leader in the violent gangs. The warrior woman in the Virginia Hayes is the brave fight who the defend the refinery. Papagino is the Michael Peterson, leader of the satellite trying to the escape of the Wasteland. Feral Kid is the enemy. Emil Menti is the wild child that cannot speak and the brave and smart. The movie starts with the voiceover narrative. Is the narrative explained that world once had the order crisis and the government, but because it was the short of oil, the world broken down, civilization collapsed, people turned against each other. The road warriors became the danger, bandit and the gang roamed the freely. In this is the broken world, one man, the Max, travel alone. Max on the road. The Max drives the powerful black car, the V8, through as the desert road. His the only inspection is the dog. He is the searching for the fuel to the survive. Suddenly he is the attacked by the group of the scavengers. He is the fast car chase happen. Max used the driving skill and the clever tracking to the defend him. Most of the gang died and the collect the fuel. The movie shows the brutal of the fast life in the wasteland. Every drop of the fuel is the precise. The Gyara's captain. Max later discovers the stranger man, the Gyara's captain, who is the gyrocopter is a small helicopter. The captain tried to rob Max, but Max overpower him. The captain offer the Max in the deal. He is now the place they the plenty of the fuel. The oil refinery Max agreed to go there. The Gyro captain has been lead Max into the happen place from there the can match the refinery. It is the surrounded by the people defending the outside. The France is the violence gang led by the Humingus. The gang want to the fuel inside. The oil refinery settlement. Inside the refinery live with a small group of the stellar. They are the good people who want to escape the wasteland. They have the vehicle and the loss of the gasoline. They the plan to escape to the safe place with his fuel, but the Hemings gang surround them. The gang want to them the surrounded they the refuge they the gang will be attacked to the kill everyone. The satellite is the trap. First encounter with the settlers. Max saved one the injured settlers for the gang. Either bring to the back on the refinery gate. Hope to get some fuel in as a reward. The settler don't want trust him and first, but they let him inside. The man Max is a save die, but the settlers see him the Max is strong and skilled. They offered him to the deal, help them. He is the can get the some fuel. He is the one, but Max does not want to the get the involved. He just want to the fuel for himself. The humans offer. Humans are the gang of the surround the refinery. He speak to the Sultan use the microphone. He say of the leave of the refinery and the fuel behind. They will be let them live, but they everyone know they the lie. Humangus is the brutal man. He is the gang wear the leather and metals. They are the like the savage warrior is the bike and truck. This moment show the danger clearly. Athletes is the settled fight of their die. Max deal. Max proposed the own deal to the tellers to the find the big truck and the can pull of the fuel tanker out of the refinery to the bring to the truck. They have will be give him the fuel he want. They agree. Max leave the refinery at night. The truck mission. Max find the big truck and the massive semi truck on the road and the Chandra Mingus man. When the big chase happened, Max fired bravely and drive the truck back into the refinery. He is injured but the stellar pulled in the just time. They are the impressed with his skill and the courage. Now they have planned their escape. Max want to leave. Even the thought that the settle wants the Max to the real lead to the escape. Max say no, he is the only mate to the deal to the truck. Now he just want to the fuel and to leave. He start to the drive away in this car, but on the road, Meng's gang attack him. He is the car crash and the dog is killed, and they is the badly hurt. The gyro captain save Max and bring back to the refinery. Now Max is a change the heart. Max realized that the can just keep running forever. He decide to the help the stellars to the real. He will be drive in the big truck with the fuel tanker and the lead them out. So this is the important moment for story. Max became a hero again. Even thought the still broken man inside. The big chase scene effect. This is the most famous part of the movie. Max driving the huge truck with the fuel tanker. Stellar product him to the top of the truck. Max and his gang attack with the car, bike and the weapons in this long, fast, danger chase. Through the desert, many people die on the both sides. The gyro captain has been helped in the air. The Fahrenheit also playing the role and defined the Max and the truck. The twist on this movie fact. In the and the Max keep driving even the thought in the truck is badly damaged. Ming's car chase head on with this truck and exploded, kill him and destroy many gang vehicles. Then he does stellar. Max open the tanker and is the full of sand, not fuel. The status has been the fall of the gang. There the real fuel has been taken away the earlier small vehicle to the safety. Max and his truck were the decoy to the district of the enemy. Max feels the pain but is also satisfaction to the help of the good people escape and are destroyed to the evil's gang. Ending and narrative fact. The gyro captain is the became the leader of the Stella is the lead them to the safe place. The narrative is the turn into the fair kids as an adult, saying that they became their hero. Even the thought is the game joined them. He was the road warrior. Maxwell is alone against the desert. He is the legend to the broke world. Behind the scene and production fact. Low budget and big impact. The film budget was about the 4.5 million US dollar. It's small compared to the Hollywood movies. The filmmakers used the real car stunt and the explosive interest of the expensive CGI. They gave the film the gritty and the real feeling. Danger stunt. Many stunt scenes were done by the real stuntman without computer effect. One stuntman got the serious injury during the big chase scene but survived. All explosion and the crash are real, no digital trick. Filming location. The movies were not shot in the Australian outback near the Broken Hills and the South Wales. In the desert landscape giving the perfect look to the dead in the post-apocalypse world. Costume design. The gang of the costume were inspired by the punk and the bike culture. Meng's metal mask became an iconic. Max's leather outfit became his the signature out in the series. Car design. Max's the black intersection car became the famous around the world. Many of the cars used in the film were the custom built and they are destroyed during the shooting. In the final truck chase scene is the using the real fuel tanker. Gyro captain as aircraft. The gyrocopter was the real aircraft. Brussels spent the actual learn to the flight it. To the give a unique area. Real view that made the action scene more the dynamic. International success. The movie was a huge hit worldwide. It is made over the 36 million US dollar, became the one of the most successful Australian film ever. In the US, it was released in the Road Warrior, the Avoid the Confused with the first film. Why the movie became an iconic fact. Simple but the strong story. The story is the real and understand good people trying to survive, bad guys trying to take the fuel and the lone hero is the help them. Powerful action scenes. The chase scene and the fast, brutal and the realistic, no fancy effect, just the raw speed and the energies. Strong main character. Max is the quiet, cold and the dangerous, but keep down has the good heart. Is the made him the timeless hero. Unique world. The movie created the belief the post-apocalypse world and the desert, the costume and the car, everything. A look at the real and the original. Influenced the many other movies. Mad Max 2 inspired the many later film, TV show, and the video game with the similar Wasteland setting. For the explain the Fallout series and the Waterland, Water World. Award and the recognition. The one of the best action film and the 1982 Academy in the Science Fiction, Fantasy and the Horror film. Best won the best director and the best achievement to the in the editing in the Australian Film Institute Award. Wednesday in the considered the one of the greatest action film ever made. Is the often the list in the top 100 action film by the critics and the magazines. Important theme: survival. Everyone fight and survival in the broken world. Redemption. The Max slowly find the response again after the losing everything, good and evil. The Staten in the respect, the hope and the community, where the Ming's gang is the respect to the chaos, resources and the security. The movie want to the happen what the vital in the source in the fuel run out. Lone hero. Max is the wearing in the hero but in the help but never stay. Cultural impact fact. The movie turned the Mel Gibson into the international star. It is the George Miller, the famous action director worldwide. It is created a new kind of road action film that influenced many filmmakers. The character the Max became the pop culture icon, silent, thorn, and the mysterious. Box office performance fact. The budget is the 4.5 million US dollar in the opening weekend in USA, 2.5 million US dollar. Total gross is around the 224 million US dollar. Worldwide the gross is the 36 million US dollar and the profit is the over the 30 million US dollar. The success was the huge for the Australian movies at that time. It is also opening the door on the sequels and the franchises. Fun fact, the Feral Kids actor was only 10 years old and did not speak a word in film. Magnus Marx is inspired by the hockey mask, similar to what to the later and the use in the Friday as the 30s villain Jason. Many of the gang vehicles are rebuilt after the crash. To the use again the different shot. George Miller was inspired by the oil crisis in the 1987 is by the classic The Western. The film editing is the considered to the master class in the action pacing, legacy and the influence. The movie is the considered the best. The Mad Max series is the many film. It is the influenced by the makers is the escape from the New York, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and the Waterworld. Many video game and the comics copy the style and the Desert Warrior and the Chaotic Road. It is lead the consider the Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome and the Mad Max Fury Road 2050. Conclusion: why the Mad Max 2 the still matter. More than 40 years after the releasing Mad Max 2, the Road Warrior is the still loved by the action movie fan. It is the same simple but the powerful show and the dark world of the one man make the difference. It is action scene, iconic character and a unique setting made it the legendary. It is don't need to the modern specialist effect. A real car chase and exploring in the strong storytelling made it the unforgettable. Max does not talk too much, but the actions say everything. He is a response to the lone hero who the stand up with the no one else can. Death is the movie remaining the classic. Mad Max 2 The Road Warrior is not just a film, it is just a piece of the movie history. It's the show the creativity, real stunt and the good storytelling can make a lasting impact. Max is the journey throughout the Wasteland continue and inspire the new generation of filmmaker and fan. Even today, the benchmark of the action cinema, raw, fast, and unforgettable. The movie Mad Max 1979 is the first film in the famous Mad Max series. It is became the one of the most successful Australian film of the all of the time and the helped the launch the Mel Gibson in the actor career. It was the directed by the George Miller who was the original medical doctor before he became the filmmaker. The film was the made in the every small budget but the became the huge hit to the worldwide. Mad Max is set to the near future Australia. There is a society that collapsing, became in the energy crisis, crime and the violence. The police trying to keep control but the dangerous bike gang ruled the highway and the story is the following them and the patrolling officer named the Mac who became the Wembley hero after the personally tragedy. The Mad Max story fact. The film beginning in the high speed chase on the desert highway and the crazy criminal named the Night Rider has the escape into the police custody and the driving the stolen police car. It is very high speed. The main force patrolling has been the special highway police unit trying to stop him. Survival officer trying to catch the night rider, but they the fast as danger. Finally, Max joined to the chase. Max is calm, brave, and one of the best drivers. He is the join the chaos and the tension increase. Night Rider's death. Max careful drive behind the Night Rider. The criminal start to the panic. He is the lost the control of the car, crash into the other vehicle and die in the huge explosion. His opening scene show in the how the danger the world became when the introduced the man as a strong and a fearless officer. The gang of the toe cutter. After the Night Rider that he is the gang and the violence biker gang became the energy. He is the leader of the gang. He is the toe cutter. He is the cruel and the psychopath man. He is the promise of the revenge on the police and the Max is Night Rider's death. His gang being the separate terror and the neighbor the town and the highway. They attack traveler, destroy a car and crash the peoples. Max life the outside the work the fact. The thought the Max is the to the cop, he is the family man. He is the love his the wife Jessie and the other young boy the Sprog. They live in the small house outside of the city. Max start the field tried to the violence and the thinking is about the quite his job and the protect his family. Goose death and the first blow. Max is the best friend and the follow the officer. Jim Goose is the also targeted by the toe cutter gang. They trap the Goose and burn him alive inside his car. Goose is the dies painfully. This event shake the Max deeply. He realizes now the danger the gang really. He is now the weak as the law has become. Max tried to the quiet. After the good that Max talked to his boss, he said want to the leave the force. He take the Jesse and the baby in the road trip to relax. They visit to the farm owned by the Jesse's friend, but the Tokater gang is follow them. Attack on the Jesse and the Spro. One of the One day Jessie goes to the local store with her baby. Tokater gang see their hair and start the chasing her. She try to run away with her baby, but the gang run the down and their motorcycle. Jessie is badly injured and sprawled in the killing. There is the most heartbreaking moment of the film. Max transformation from the cop to the Avengers. Jesse in the take to the hospital, but the doctor tell the Max that the man he never recover fully. Max's heart is broken. He goes to the house, put his the black leather uniform and take the fast police car. As a powerful black inspector, he is not longer a police officer. He became the one of the mission of the revenge. One by one, as the gangs fall. Max hunted down the gang member. He is the kill them in the one by one in the violence confirmation. He is the use the driving skill and his weapon to the make to pay the goose and the family. He is the chase the Bumagenti and the toe cutter second commander and his kill on the road. He is find the toe cutter is the force him to crash to the truck at the fall speed. He is the find the Johnny and boys. Another member in the handcuffed with the car and filled with fuel. Max given the hacksaw and the sleeving. Here the fuel catch the fire and the Johnnies die in the explosion. The ending fact is the birth of the Mad Max. The end of the movie, Max drives alone on an empty highway. He is lost everything, his family, his friend, and his faith in the law. And he became Mad Max Man the Road and living in the survivor revenge. Is the dark and powerful ending and the stage of the next film of the series. Box office performance. Even though the Mad Max was the very small budget, it is became the massive box office success. Budget around the 35 million US dollar and is made over the 100 million US dollar. It is made as one of the most profitable movie ever made at that time. Is the entire Guinness World Record the most profitable film based on the ratio of the budget to the earning. In the US state, the film was the dubbing because some people found the Australian accent hard to the understand. Despite that, the became the cult hit among the fan action in the action fiction. Theme and the meaning of the movie. Mad Max is the more than just a car film is the deeply theme that makes it unique. Revenge. Mad Max personally tried to the inform to the vengeful is the finger. The film shows the what happened in the law and order breakdown. Moral change. At the beginning, Max is the good cop and that and the became the huge brutal anti-hero. Survival. In the danger world, people do the must try to the survival. Speed and chaos. Car and highway represent both the freedom and the danger. The filmmaking behind the scene fact. The film was shot in the rural area of the Victoria, Australia. Director George Miller and his crew did not leave the much money, and the crew also plays the small acting role. The many car stunts are the real and the danger, but they use the real car in the real crash. Mel Gibson, it was not a big star that time. He is the good and the role overcoming in the audience audition with the visual face. Miller came into the look and gave him the role. The famous back inspection car became the symbol of the franchise. The movie dark tone and the fast action inspired the little than the post-apocalypse film. Culture impact and legacy. Mad Max changed the how people are good in the low-budget action film. It is made the Mel Gibson as an international star. It is inspired the many directors, the video game and the iconic. The movie became the base on the three sequel and the spin-off. The Mad Max 2 in the 1981, Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome in the 1985, Mad Max Fury Road in the 2015, and the Furiosa the Mad Max Saga in the 2024. Fun and the little no fact. The George Miller was working as a doctor in an emergency room before the filmmaking. He saw the many car crash victims in real life, much inspired in the violence realism in Mad Max. Most of the actor has a real leather outfit in the hot Australian summer. Many of them survive with the heat and the exhaust. The motorcycle gang in the movie is made of the real bike. Production borrowed the real motorcycle for the film. Mel Gibson was the only 21 year old then he started in the film. In the film became the popular in Japan and France that it is built a strong international face. Is the film some countries banned in the censor became the violence. Why the Mad Max became so successful? Mad Max played on the film in 1971 became the unique setting. In the near future, Wasteland in the flat is the real. Fast, thrilling, and action scene. In the car, chase and intense realistic. Low budget and some smart filmmaking. The filmmaker used the creativity and make the film too big, strong main character. Max is the both theoretic and the tragic global appeal. The story of the revenge and the survival of the universal. Award and the recognition. Though to the do not win the big international award in the first, is the one many Australian film award the direction and the editing. It was a no listing among the great film action of the all the time. It was an influence the other famous film like the Road Warrior and the Terminator and the Escape from the New York. The key vehicle on this movie. Parachute Special is the film the powerful back in the car with the V8 engine is the became the one of the famous movie car in history. Mia's parachute car. Yellow police car is used by the main force patrolling. Gang motorcycle is the real Kawasaki bike used by the toe cutter gang. Truck and the civilian car used during chaos and the crash sequence, and the filmmaker bought the old car cheaply and modified them without look at the futuristic cinematic style. Mad Max used the raw and the fast-paced style. Handheld the camera work. During the case at the scene, the give the feeling of the speeding and the dangerous. Low angle shoot made the vehicle look the more powerful. Natural lighting is the was using became the low budget. Is the film is very little danger compressed by the most film which the make the story for the visual. Timeline of the Mad Max universe. Mad Max the take place in the near future Australia. There is a society collapse became from the oil and the fuel shortage, high crime rate, governments fail. This is for the total apocalypse scene in the Mad Max 2 later than the film escape in the original story in the Max. Is the showdown the good cop became the lonely in the trying world. A global success story. Mad Max was the release the first in Australia, which in the became a hit in their spread. Japan is a very powerful escaping among the car fans. France and Germany love it in unique style. United States dubbing version gained and strong fan base. United Kingdom precise the criticism and the originally. Mad Max is the influence the pop culture is the contactless post apocalypse city video game especially is on the improving the vehicle and the wasteland. Fashion in the leather jacket, spike and the goggles some in the part of the Wasteland style. Comics and the fun art around on the world. Many cosplayer and have the still dress like the character from the film. The film making challenge. The film has the very little money. Many crew members work for free. Shooting car chasing was the dangerous. The weather is was very hot. Hot, making filmmaking uncomfortable. Became the budget is a low sound and effect is was added later in the post production. Critics reaction. The film was the first release and some critic was shocking by the violence but the many precise. The action direction. Mel Gibson acting. The realism of the chasing scene is the fast use the small budget. Mad Max 1979 is not just a movie, it is a milestone in the action film history. It is the beginning of the small idea from the young director turned to the filmmaker and the grow into the one of the most influential film franchise ever. The Mad Max new movie is starting shooting in the 2026 and it is released in the approximately in the 2027 is the shooting start is the not officially confirming yet. And the new Mad Max movie 2026 is the cast is not confirmed and the not is shooting is starting yet.